For an 800 amp 3-phase 4-wire system with grounding using parallel conductors, a 6-inch EMT or electrical metallic tubing is recommended. With a 6-inch EMT conduit, you can install 6 parallel conductors per phase and 2 parallel conductors for the grounding conductor. This equates to 4 times 6, which equals 24 current-carrying conductors for the 3 phases, plus the 2 grounding conductors, totaling 26 conductors. To figure out the minimum conductor size, use this formula: conductor size in kc mil equals load current divided by voltage times parallel conductors, then multiply it by 1000. Assuming a voltage of 480 volts, the formula becomes conductor size in kc mil equals 800 amps divided by 480 volts times 6 multiplied by 1000, which calculates to 277 kc mil. Therefore, the recommended conductor size for each parallel circuit is 277 kc mil THHN or THWN copper conductors. To parallel the load, firstly, install all 6 parallel conductors per phase and 2 grounding conductors in the 6-inch EMT. Secondly, connect the conductors at the SES end to the appropriate circuit breaker in the SES. Thirdly, connect the conductors at the MDP-3 end to the appropriate circuit breaker in MDP-3. Fourthly, ensure that all connections are tight and secure. Fifthly, test the circuit for proper operation and continuity. Important considerations for paralleling include: firstly, conductor material, which must be copper or aluminum only, and all parallel sets must be of the same material. Secondly, conductor size. Conductors must be 1/0 American wire gauge or larger. Thirdly, conductor insulation. All parallel sets must have the same insulation type. Fourthly, termination. Conductors must be terminated in the same manner using appropriately rated connectors. Fifthly, equal length. Parallel conductors must have the same length to ensure equal impedance. Sixthly, termination location. Parallel sets must terminate at the same location. Seventhly, grouping. Conductors must be grouped together within the same raceway. Eighthly, overcurrent protection. Each parallel set must be protected by an individual overcurrent device. Ninthly, ampacity. The ampacity of each parallel conductor must be sufficient to carry its share of the total load. Tenthly, voltage drop. The voltage drop in each parallel set must be similar to avoid circulating current. Finally, 11thly, neutral conductor sizing. The neutral conductor must be sized appropriately to carry the maximum unbalanced load. These practices ensure that the parallel conductors share the load equally and prevent overheating or other issues. Always consult the National Electrical Code, specifically Article 310.10 regarding conductors in parallel, and other relevant sections for detailed requirements and guidance. Remember that this information is a general guideline and local electrical codes may vary. Always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer for specific project requirements and code compliance. Also, consider the ambient temperature and dirting factors when selecting conductor sizes. If the ambient temperature is high, the conductor ampacity may need to be derated. The derating factors can be found in NEC Table 310.15 cone. Additionally, consider voltage drop when determining conductor size. Voltage drop can cause equipment to malfunction or operate inefficiently. The maximum voltage drop for branch circuits should not exceed 3%, and the maximum voltage drop for feeders should not exceed 5%. To calculate voltage drop, use the following formula: voltage drop equals 2 times K times I times D divided by circular mils, where K is the constant for the conductor material, I is the current in amps, D is the one-way distance in feet, and circular mils is the area of the conductor in circular mils. Also, when running conductors in parallel, the neutral conductor must be sized no smaller than the calculated unbalanced load. The unbalanced load is the maximum difference in current between any two ungrounded conductors. In a 3-phase system, the unbalanced load is typically 20% of the total load. In this case, the unbalanced load would be 800 amps times 20%, which equals 160 amps. Therefore, the neutral conductor must be sized to carry at least 160 amps. Furthermore, ensure that all conductors are properly labeled and identified. This will help prevent confusion during maintenance and troubleshooting. Use different colored tape or markers to identify each phase in the neutral conductor. The National Electrical Code specifies the following color code for three-phase systems: phase A black, phase B red, phase C blue, and neutral white or gray. For the grounding conductor, use green or bare copper. Also, consider the type of environment where the conduit and conductors will be installed. If the environment is corrosive, use corrosion-resistant conduit and conductors. For example, PVC conduit is suitable for use in corrosive environments, while ENT conduit is not. If the conduit and conductors will be exposed to sunlight, use sunlight-resistant materials. Sunlight can degrade the insulation of conductors and cause them to fail. Additionally, consider the mechanical protection requirements for the conduit and conductors. If the conduit and conductors will be subject to physical damage, use rigid metal conduit or intermediate metal conduit. ENT conduit is not suitable for use in areas where it is subject to physical damage. When installing conduit, use appropriate fittings and connectors. The fittings and connectors must be compatible with the type of conduit being used. Also, ensure that the fittings and connectors are properly tightened to prevent water from entering the conduit. When pulling conductors through conduit, use a pulling lubricant. The pulling lubricant will reduce friction and make it easier to pull the conductors. Do not use excessive force when pulling conductors, as this can damage the insulation. After the conductors are installed, test the circuit for proper operation and continuity. Use a multimeter to check the voltage and current at each circuit breaker. Also, use an insulation resistance tester to check the insulation resistance of the conductors. An insulation resistance test will help identify any damage to the insulation. Be sure to torque all connections to the manufacturer's specifications. Loose connections can cause overheating and equipment failure. Use a torque wrench to tighten all connections to the proper torque. Regularly inspect the conduit and conductors for any signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn components immediately. Also, keep the area around the conduit and conductors clear of debris and obstructions. Debris and obstructions can damage the conduit and conductors. Following these guidelines will help ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer for specific project requirements and code compliance. Considering voltage drop is critical for ensuring efficient and safe operation of electrical systems. Excessive voltage drop can lead to several problems, including reduced equipment performance, overheating of conductors and equipment, and increased energy consumption. To minimize voltage drop, consider the following. Firstly, use larger conductors. Increasing the conductor size reduces resistance and lowers voltage drop. Secondly, shorten the circuit length. Voltage drop is directly proportional to the length of the circuit, so reducing the length will reduce voltage drop. Thirdly, reduce the load current. Minimizing the load current reduces the voltage drop. Fourthly, improve the power factor. Improving the power factor reduces the reactive current and lowers the voltage drop. Fifthly, use multiple circuits. Dividing the load into multiple circuits reduces the current in each circuit and lowers the voltage drop. Sixthly, use a transformer. A transformer can be used to step up the voltage and reduce the current, which lowers the voltage drop. Also, consider the ambient temperature when selecting conductors. The ampacity of conductors decreases as the ambient temperature increases. Therefore, it is important to select conductors with an ampacity that is sufficient for the ambient temperature. The National Electrical Code provides tables that list the ampacity of conductors at different ambient temperatures. Additionally, consider the dirting factors for conductors and conduit. When multiple conductors are installed in the same conduit, the ampacity of each conductor must be derated. The derating factors are based on the number of conductors in the conduit. The National Electrical Code provides tables that list the derating factors for conductors and conduit. When calculating the size of conductors, it is important to consider all of these factors. The conductor must be sized to carry the load current, taking into account the ambient temperature, derating factors, and voltage drop requirements. Also, consider the type of load that will be connected to the circuit. Some loads, such as motors, require larger conductors than other loads, such as lighting. The National Electrical Code provides guidelines for sizing conductors for different types of loads. Also, when installing conductors in parallel, it is important to ensure that all of the conductors are the same size and length. The conductors must also be installed in the same raceway. This will ensure that the current is evenly distributed among the conductors. If the conductors are not the same size or length, or if they are not installed in the same raceway, the current will not be evenly distributed, and one of the conductors may overheat. Also, when connecting conductors to equipment, it is important to use the proper connectors. The connectors must be compatible with the type of conductor being used. Also, ensure that the connectors are properly tightened to prevent loose connections. Loose connections can cause overheating and equipment failure. Regularly inspect the conductors and connections for any signs of damage or wear. Replace any damaged or worn components immediately. Also, keep the area around the conductors and connections clear of debris and obstructions. Debris and obstructions can damage the conductors and connections. Following these guidelines will help ensure a safe and reliable electrical installation. Remember to always consult with a qualified electrician or electrical engineer for specific project requirements and code compliance.